The strength to show mercy. Luke 6:36 says, "Be merciful just as your Father is merciful." There's something inside of us that wants to fight back when we've been hurt. When somebody disrespects us, we want to disrespect them back. When somebody betrays us, we want them to feel what we felt. When somebody wounds us, sometimes we think the only way to prove we're strong is to make sure they never get the opportunity to hurt us again. But Jesus teaches us another way. Jesus says, "Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful." The world says, "Give people what they deserve." Jesus says, "Give people the mercy that I gave you." And that takes a different kind of strength. Remember the mercy you received. Before I judge somebody else for what they did to me, I have to remember what God had done to me. There were times when I was wrong. There were times when I sinned. There were times when God could have turned his back on me, but he showed me mercy. Lamentations 3:22 through 23 says that because of the Lord's great love and mercy, we are not consumed, and his mercies are new every morning. Every morning you wake up is an evidence that mercy is still speaking over your life. So when somebody hurts you, remember you are not extending something that has never received. You are giving away something God has already poured into you. Mercy is not weakness. Sometimes we think being merciful means being soft. We think strength means getting even. But anybody could react. Anybody could yell back. Anybody could hold a grudge. Anybody could seek revenge. It takes strength to have the power to hurt somebody back and choose not to. Jesus showed us this on the cross. He was mocked, beaten, rejected, and crucified. Yet in Luke 23:34, Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them." This is strength. Jesus had the power to judge them, but he chose mercy. Real strength isn't always shown by what you can do to somebody. Sometimes the strength is shown by what you choose not to do. Don't let your wounds control your heart. Some people aren't angry because they're evil. They're angry because they're wounded. They're angry because they're carrying betrayal, rejection, and disappointment. And if we're not careful, yesterday's wound will determine how we treat today's people. And that's why we have to give our wounds to God. Romans 12:19 teaches us not to take revenge ourselves, but to leave judgment in God's hands. In other words, God, they hurt me, but I'm giving this situation to you. God, I don't understand why they did it, but I'm giving my pain to you. God, I'm not going to let what they did turn me into something you never called me to be. Your pain may explain your anger, but it doesn't have to control your character. Give what you want God to keep giving you. Jesus says in Luke 6:36, "Be merciful just as your Father is merciful." Notice Jesus doesn't make other people's behavior the standard. He doesn't say be merciful if they apologize, if they deserve it, if they change. He says be merciful because your Father is merciful. Our example isn't the person who hurt us. Our example is God. When you don't know how to respond, ask yourself, what response looks most like Jesus? Sometimes looking like Jesus means forgiving. Sometimes it means showing compassion. Sometimes it means praying for somebody who hurt you. And yes, sometimes mercy can still include healthy boundaries. Forgiveness doesn't mean repeatedly putting yourself in a position to be mistreated. But even with boundaries, we don't have to carry hatred. Mercy makes you different. Anybody can become bitter. Anybody can hold on to anger. Anybody can say, "I never forgive them." But when Christ is living inside of you, there should be something different about the way you handle being hurt. You can say, "Yes, you hurt me, but you won't control my heart." Yes, I remember what happened, but I refuse to live in bitterness. Yes, I have wounds, but I'm giving those wounds to God. Because mercy isn't pretending you weren't hurt. Mercy is deciding that your hurt will not have the final word. The final word belongs to Jesus. And if Jesus showed mercy to me, I want my life to overflow with that same mercy towards others.